Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marissa Ray. Thank you for tuning in today. So on today's video, as y'all can see by the thumbnail and by the title, I'm gonna be telling you guys how my hair broke off and how I was able to grow it back. Let's just get straight into it. No need to jibber jabber. Around, I would say, September of 2018, so this was 2 years ago, not a full 2 years of course, but around September of 2018, I started noticing that my hair was going thin back there. It was not completely bald at this time like it is in the picture. That was when it was at its worst, okay, in that picture. That was when it was at its worst, and I'll get to that. But in September of 2018 is when I kind of started to notice, my buns are looking thin. Like, you know, when you put your hair up in a bun or in a poof like I have today, I would notice that my hair was thin back there and it just like looked sparse. And I'm like, this is weird. I've never experienced this before. My family does not have any bald spots. My daddy, he has plenty of hair. My mama got plenty of hair. None of us, even my grandparents, literally both of my grandparents, both sides, literally have plenty of hair. None of my family, except for like aunts or something, have like a little, you know, like either balding or thinning. Most of us have thick hair. So I'm like, this is weird. And I'm young, you know, I was 2018, I was what, 21 at the time, because I turned 22 last year. So yeah, I was 21 at the time. I'm like, I'm too young to be experiencing something crazy. So I'm like, what could this be? So I started noticing that it was going thin, but I kind of just ignored it, right? If I can find some pictures of it, I will definitely insert the pictures of when it first started happening. I don't think I have any, y'all, but hopefully I can find some pictures to show y'all. If not, then oh well, just listen to the story. Y'all gonna see how to fix it. But so I started noticing that it was thinner because I used to do like a lot of buns and ponytails, like with extensions, and I would tie those little black strips, you know, like the black strips that you use when you set in your hair or something, the paper wax strips basically, and you know, wrap it around my edges and tie it down, boom. But you know how when you tie stuff like that back there and it rubs against the nape of your hair, or right where it gets like thin, or right around your edges, I would tie that, and then like sometimes I would feel hair like pull. So like imagine tying something in the back of your head and you feel it, like you literally feel it pulling your hair basically. I had been experiencing that, but to be quite honest, I didn't think nothing of it. I basically just thought like, okay, my hair's a little thin right here, it'll grow back, no big deal, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of just ignored it. Goes on and on and on, and I started noticing in my buns more and more and more that when I would feel back here, it felt so thin. Like, I'm like, bro, I can almost feel my scalp. Like, I can literally almost feel my scalp. That's not good. What's going on? So I would say around January, we going into January of 2019 now. So from September 2018 to January 2019 is when it just progressively kept getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And around January or so, somewhere around that time, I was actually working at the hospital, and I experienced some irritation to my skin on my face actually while I was working at the hospital, and it was very concerning to me. My face was itching, it was hives, it was just weird, and I'm like, I'm not really allergic to anything, so what could be really causing this problem, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up going to the dermatologist, and when I went to the dermatologist, she looked at my skin, you know, prescribed me with things, and I told her what I was using on my face. I'm not gonna get into that because that's not what this video is about, but blah 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 blah. Okay, she prescribed me with stuff, cool. Then I was like, you know, while I'm here, can you look at the back of my head? Because what is this? Like, why is this thing right here? What is this going on? So I was like, what is this that's thin back there? You know what I'm saying? And she looked at it and she didn't mention anything about like alopecia, nothing like that. And mind you, alopecia does not run in my family or anything. And this is just a quick disclaimer, I don't know anything really about alopecia. I know it's like, you know, like almost can look the same as what I experienced, but that is not what I experienced. And I don't know if that's genetics or what, but none of that runs in my family. So basically, and mind you, like I said, y'all, I don't know nothing about it, so y'all can let me know in the comments if it is a genetic thing, whatever, I don't know. But she basically told me that that's not what it is. It's ain't no alopecia, none of that, okay? So when she told me that, I'm like, okay, cool, you know, it ain't nothing wrong with my skin, okay, cool. And she was like, it basically just looks like you may have been having some breakage here from either styling your hair or maybe pressure back here when you're tying your scarf, or you know, just things like that. Basically things that I've caused. So like tying those little wax strips, like I said, doing the tight ponytails, you know, all that little stuff. And that's literally the only thing that I was doing that could have caused that breakage. But I'm like, why there though? Because I manipulate my edges more than I do back there. So I was like, it had to be those little strips, and I may have tied something too tight one day and didn't notice, or just got irritated one day, I don't know. But that seems to be what caused the problem, the ponytails and tying things back there like scarves and the wax paper stuff, all that stuff. So that's what it looks like caused the issue. After I went to the doctor and all of that stuff, I just basically was like, okay, what am I going to do? You know, my hair's breaking off. I didn't really want to tell my people, my family, you know, like what's really going on. But of course I ended up telling them because I was concerned, like what's really going on with my hair. And then after that, February roughly is when it was like completely bald, and it was larger than ever. Like it was the largest it had ever been, which is on the picture that's on the thumbnail, and I'll also insert it again here. That's exactly around the time in February that it was completely like bald, like no hair whatsoever. And I was like, what the heck? I couldn't wear no ponytails, child. If I was having a bad hair day, honey, I just had to thug it out. I had to do something else to my hair. And do you know how I was so like, it didn't phase me, and I was still making videos for y'all, as y'all can see if you scroll back to my old videos. But at the same time, it did phase me, because I'm like, yo, why am I experiencing this? Like, what is up with this? And it was straight bald for like months, like that's about what, 6 months, real talk, that's like 6 months. So whatever, I ended up, you know, getting my hair dyed after that too, which that probably was not the best decision to do, but I did it, you know, whatever. But that's pretty much the story of how it got to that really bald point. Now I'm gonna get into the story of how I grew it back. So when I was actually working at Dillard's in 2018, before working at the hospital, I was talking to one of my coworkers and telling her, like, you know, what's going on. And she was basically like, use some wild growth oil. And I had never heard of wild growth oil, but I was like, okay. So I kind of looked up, did some research on wild growth oil, and I saw that it basically, you know, grows your hair back really quickly. At least it's supposed to, right? So I was using wild growth oil from probably, let's say, I think October-ish of 2018 all the way up until honestly summer last year. So that's about 6-7 months I was using some wild growth oil, which, if y'all do not know what that looks like, it looks like this with a red cap right here. And not only was I using wild growth oil, I started back using Jamaican black castor oil. And I would literally put those oils on my scalp every single night. I stopped doing ponytails as frequently and buns. Actually, I just stopped doing buns and all that at all, because I was like, I'm not gonna just let this thing be showing unless there was a way I could cover it up. So there was sometimes when I wore a bun because I just wanted to, and I literally would cover it up. I would find a way to brush up my hair to where it looked like you know, it wasn't nothing going on, but clearly it was. So, and like I said in another video, y'all probably would not have been able to tell, unless I go back and see my old videos. Y'all probably low-key would not have been able to tell that that was what's going on in the back of my head. Y'all probably wouldn't know. So yeah, but anywho, I used the wild growth oil and Jamaican black castor oil for months, literally probably several months on that spot in my head. And that's pretty much how my hair grew back to this point. So now I'm going to insert some pictures of the length that it is now. Obviously it's not as long as the rest of my hair, but it's definitely grown back. It's definitely slowly grown back. It was, you know, it started off as peach fuzz, and I would get super excited because I'm like, oh, mama, it's growing back, it's growing back. I can see the peach fuzz, I can see the peach fuzz. I was hella excited about that. And it would be red sometimes too, but it wasn't no skin issue. But it finally has started growing back around the end of last year, and I literally could see a difference. I'm like, oh my gosh, my hair is finally growing back. I was so happy. And now we're at a point where we are pretty much fully grown back here. It's still probably a little bit thin and still growing back, but it's definitely, obviously, better than it was. You see, like, nobody could tell now that even ever happened. So that's pretty much it, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all what it's looking like now before my camera dies. And it looks like that. That's pretty much my story, you guys. I hope this is helpful to y'all. But please try to stay away from doing tight styles on your hair, so you don't have the same experience as me. Definitely keep your oils on deck. I will say that this Jamaican black castor oil and this wild growth oil for sure had to be the things that grew my hair back, because I would literally put that on my hair every day and massage that spot every day, and now my hair is back, surprisingly. Like, it just happened out of nowhere. So, and I still got my confidence, boo. I was still confident, okay, period. But with all that being said, I hope y'all really did enjoy this video. It's a little personal to me, but I feel like sharing it because some of y'all asked. So with all that being said, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in, and catch me in my next video.